Hey there, kids. It's your good buddy, Uncle Ben. Now that I've returned from the grave, I'm hungry for brains and merchandise. Thankfully, before I died, I partnered with Juan Coven to design this sick t-shirt so that you can look awesome in this life and beyond. Click the link in the video description below to get your very own shred till you're undead t-shirt, mask, or whatever else you want my ghoulish face on. Now if you'll excuse me, I've got to meet an old friend for dinner.
Hey there kids, it's your good buddy Uncle Ben, and one of the most frequently asked questions that I get is how do we improve our alternate picking speed? Typically people are going to recommend that you get the metronome out and grind away through some traditional chromatic exercises, like this one. One of the biggest problems that you're going to run into if you're trying to use exercises like that to build picking speed is that this hand is always going to be held back by how fast this hand can go. Instead, I recommend taking that familiar 4-note chromatic exercise that we all know and breaking it into speed bursts on every single note. That way you get to spend more time on that string, really synchronize your hands, and start getting this pick hand up to speed. Here's what it do. As you can see, it's pretty simple stuff, but I guarantee if you keep at it for a few days, you're going to be seeing higher picking hand speeds than you've ever achieved before. Especially if you use the practice tracks that I'm providing to everybody who supports my channel over on my Patreon page at patreon.com/Ben Eller Guitars. Sign up today even for just a $1 a month level and you're going to get access to a wealth of backing tracks, bonus lessons, and so much more, as well as this practice routine at a bunch of different tempos that you can play along with. And I'm also going to be uploading just the MIDI files of everything that I made this track out of. That way you can import them into your DAW and make your own perfect practice session. I'm also going to be putting up guitar profiles to go along with this one, since I know a lot of you guys use that with your practice. So don't delay, sign up to my Patreon page today by clicking the link in the video description below. Thanks. So there's actually two different versions of this workout that I'm going to show you. The first one that we're going to talk about here today deals with 16th notes and changing strings off of upstrokes. Here's how it goes. You're going to start off here on the first fret of your low E string and give that 4 pick strokes, down, up, down, up. Your next downstroke that you play is going to land you on fret number 2. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. Do the same idea but with 2 and 3. 2, 2, 2, 2, 3. 3, 3, 3, 3, 4. Now at this point we're going here from the 4th fret low E string to the 1st fret on the A. So it's like this. 4, 4, 4, 4, 1. There's that string change we were talking about. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 1. Then just start over from right there. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 1. We're going to walk up all 6 strings like that and then shift up a position when we reach the last note. So that last line on your high E is going to go like this. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. Now that you moved up a position, you're going to play the exact same idea, just moving down the strings instead, like this. 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, and so on. Now after you reach the lowest position that you can on the low E, you're going to do the same idea as what you did a second ago. You're going to go from 2 again up to 3. So now we're in the 3rd position to start walking up the exercise again. So if I was just walking down the low E, then going into the next position, it's going to sound like this. 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 3. Then walk up. 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5. Just like that. The practice tracks I'm providing on the Patreon page are going to have you starting that exercise out down here at number 1 and walking all the way up the neck, I think to the 15th position if I'm not mistaken. Here's a taste of what that's going to sound like with the backing track.
As you play through this exercise, really try to emphasize the first and last notes of every grouping. 1 E and a 2, 3 E and a 4, 1 E and a 2, 3 E and a 4. Practicing with those rhythmic accents like that is really going to make your playing sound a lot more rhythmic and groovy. It's also just going to keep you in time so much better than playing without accents.
So it's pretty cool sounding. The track kind of gives me the vibe that I got whenever I was playing like old school NES games and like the timer was running out, you know? So it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but still really effective to help you get into this speed burst sort of mentality. So that's half of the workout program, but there is a little bit of a problem here because this only focused on changing strings after upstrokes. All the string changes that we did happened after an up. Down, up, change strings, downstroke to get to the next one right there, right? A well-rounded alternate picking machine is going to be able to change strings after downstrokes or upstrokes. And there's a couple ways you can modify this to make that happen. Just to make it a little bit more easier and also help you become a better subdivide machine, I also designed a triplet-based version of this workout. And because it's based on the odd number of 3, that means it's going to be changing strings off of downstrokes like this. Down, up, 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 down, up. See that string change that happened right there. And again, this is based on the subdivision of triplets. So within every beat, we're cramming 3 notes. You can just say the word triplet in between every beat, and it'll pretty well spell out how the rhythm's supposed to feel. Triplet, 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 triplet. And like any good dealer, I'm going to give you your first hit for free. So here's what that exercise would sound like with the backing track.
As you play through the triplet-based exercise, be sure to remember to do the accenting thing just like you did with the 16s. So you're going to be accenting the first and last notes of every speed burst. Triplet trip, triplet trip, triplet trip, triplet trip. This means your first accent is going to be on a downstroke and your second accent is going to be on an upstroke. Practicing accenting on downstrokes and upstrokes is going to give you some great pick hand control. So be sure to stay on top of it.
I guarantee one of the things that's going to be toughest about this exercise is for some of you guys is resisting the urge to economy pick those string changes. Because if you just played that last note on the low E string with a downstroke, down, up, down, the temptation is going to be really high to run into the A string here with another downstroke like this. Down, up, down, down. There's nothing wrong with economy picking. I do it in my playing all the time, but that's just not what this exercise is about. So try to develop that mechanic where you go down, up, down, changing to an upstroke on the next string. Again, that's a really different mechanic than changing off of your upstrokes like we did earlier, which were inside string changes. These are outside string changes, and they feel quite a lot different, and it's worth developing that mechanic. So remember, just keep the whole thing alternate picked all the way through every one of those speed bursts. Now, as you practice through that, there's a couple of things I want you to keep in mind and concentrate on. Probably the first and foremost here is tension. And this is, again, one of the best things about practicing this way is it really allows you to monitor your tension super closely. If you're playing an exercise that's just nonstop speed like this, you might be building up tension and not even noticing it because you're never relaxing. But whenever you practice an exercise that has you starting and stopping a bunch, you can really take inventory and notice if you're like gripping the pick harder when you're playing those 16th notes. These days I notice my tension kind of shows up in the front of my shoulder. Sometimes I kind of like push forward a little bit. But again, since I'm constantly starting and stopping, I notice it and I can start correcting that and just trying to relax that muscle as much as I can while I continue playing the exercise. Whenever I encounter that kind of thing, what I like to do is while playing, I try to relax that muscle and ask myself, do I need that muscle to be tense in order to play this lick? If the answer is no, then I'm going to try my best to focus on keeping that muscle good and relaxed while I continue on with the exercise. Another thing I want you to focus on as you're moving through the string slowly like that is how is the pick itself getting from string to string? Because depending on your string changing strategy, you might be setting yourself up for a world of failure, as I used to do whenever I tried changing strings using this method right here. You can see getting here from the low E string to the high E string is all coming from my wrist, right? Kind of aiming the pick to a different string. This is a habit that I see a lot of players that play like a lot of metal rhythm guitar get into, because they're kind of used to having the picking hand just kind of anchored there on the bottom strings for all their chuggies and stuff. So then when they go to the high E string, they keep that position, twist the wrist to get to the high E string. And what ends up happening here is that the pick is like almost vertical now. My picking motions with my wrist diverted that far down don't feel anything like what they did down here. You probably get a really obnoxious, kind of chirpy, slicey sound like that too, where the pick isn't really going through the string so much as it is slicing through it like that. Sounds different, feels different, and I assure you it's just not the best way to do it. I really need to do a whole video devoted to different string changing mechanics like that, because I've tried about all of them. And honestly, you can get good results with whichever one you choose as long as you do it consistently. Just don't do this one right here. This is not the way to move from string to string. And the great thing is with this exercise is because the string changes are so few and in between and you can really see them coming, you can concentrate on making sure you're using the right mechanic to get from string to string, whether that be simply dropping the forearm down or pushing the forearm forwards like that. That motion right there kind of naturally makes your pick travel from the low strings to the high strings and backwards like that too. So either one of those mechanics is great. Just be sure to focus on it as you're practicing this exercise. Get the practice tracks, do this for like a week, and comment with the progress that you made, because I am sure it will shock you. So there you go, guys, my newest favorite speed building workout. Be sure to head on over to that Patreon page, patreon.com/Ben Eller Guitars. Grab the tabs, grab the practice tracks, the guitar profiles, whatever it is that you need to build your perfect practice session and get to work. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and ring the bell for notifications every time I upload a new slice of fried gold. And if you want to help support my channel, be sure to check out that Patreon page, the merch links, and all the other cool stuff down there in the links section below. Well, guys, it's been fun as always, but it's time to go practice a little bit. I recommend you guys get away from the computer, grab that guitar, and get to work. Let's click it. More picking.